This is, you guys know Clint and Sean. So I'm Aaron, if you don't know, from Ohio out here. So we're out in Indiana hanging out with the boys and just gonna, I guess, answer questions. So what kind of questions do we have? Anybody?
So this is like a skill set, right? Like the whole thing about black flag, the idea behind it is just pretty much like a skill set. It's not like a system on its own, right?
It's originally was taught under the idea that it is a system. But the thing about it is I spent 5 years learning it. What I got from it, I didn't really get a lot of application training. I got power generation out of it. So I spent a lot of time learning how to release power, how to hit people hard, and that's, for the most part, what it comes down to.
Right.
What do you see as the biggest difference between power generation and that and the standard Wing Chun ways, people are generating power?
Well, that's, of course, different people in the standard Wing Chun, what you call standard Wing Chun,
well, yeah.
have different approaches to that subject. But the general...
elbow connection.
Yeah, right. The general idea is you're using structure, bone structure, muscles to, hit with. You can talk about coming from the floor, coming from the shoulder, whatever you want to talk about. But this is using basically the muscles in the skeleton. The bigger you are, the harder you can hit. The more you know about structure and how to make that work for you, then you can use your body, you can use the ground, push off of, and you can generate more power. With that type of power generation, you're not really using your body. So you just snap it out there.
So there's no step.
No, I can...
shift, turn.
You don't have to. You can be laying on your back.
Right, so this is sort of like shoulder.
So what would you say, I guess, then would be the source or root of the power, where we say, typically when we say power comes from the ground. You bring your power up from the ground, transfer through the hips, into the elbow, shoulder, whatever. We say power comes from the ground as a general overall statement. Where would you say power comes from and what you do?
Okay, so when you go through the training, there's stages of training. So you might spend 6 months working on what's called the whip. Okay, so some of you guys out there know what the whip is because you've seen videos on it, you've heard people talk about it. The whip is like a delivery system. So whipping, just throw it out. That's just throwing your arm around.
Snappy, snappy.
Right, snap, snap, snap. So if I want it to sound good, then do the form. And I just, right? So you're just throwing your arms around. That is not power. Okay, you don't hit somebody with a whip with your arm in this format and have the whip actually hurt somebody. So you need something on top of that. So that's fine. So if I hit you with a whip, it's like, okay. So then you get, with the second area you train on.
Hold on. It's gonna hurt.
Is it good? Alright, so just do it in the area. Second area you train on is weight.
So you got the whip and you got the weight, right?
So you got the whip, show us the nay-nay.
Show us the weight.
So just the weight. So this is just the weight. Okay, there's no whip involved. So this is just the heaviness of the arm. So if I do it with my bad arm on this arm, okay, it still sucks. Right? Okay, so the third part, okay, is when you mesh those together, but even if you have the whip and the weight, there's another part, okay? So you have to plug those things together. You're just focusing your mind on putting your weight and throwing it fast in there. So the mind is connected. Okay? So now his arm's just staying there. So this doesn't really mean much. This is just a demo. Okay, so don't get too excited. Okay?
Classic hands on the hip. Classic hands on the hip.
Okay, so you have the outside. You have the outside, and this one. So this sucks worse.
This is my money. I make money with that hand.
Okay, so my bad hand, okay, on the inside.
Ding, ding, ding.
Inside of the arm is softer, so we consider this yang on the outside and this is yin on the inside. Okay, so there's more of a protective shell on the outside of the body.
You just say yang.
Yang on the outside
outside.
and the yin on the inside, because it's softer, it's not as protective. So
you got whip,
what
blade,
sucks
and then that's the intent.
yeah, I mean you put all three together. The intent. You're focusing your
So when
mental.
when you're training this, when you first start, you're just training the whip right off the bat.
So when you train, I mean, you can have amazing whip, better than any of the videos you've seen on the forum or anything like that in like 6 months, if that's all you do.
Right.
So I'm not impressed with that.
Right. I mean, it's just the stings, but they ain't gonna like finish the job.
Right. You're gonna. Okay. So let's say I do whip with a pop out. Okay.
Right.
So does that bother you?
No.
Okay. So I'll do it faster.
Just a whip.
That don't
It
do anything.
stings, but it's not gonna like finish the job.
Right.
So
So
you can
I,
totally tell the difference between when you put your relaxed when you just
right.
isolate, you're just throwing it out there.
So let's say that I separate it and I just you put the arm out there and then I just sort of wait, okay?
Right. It's heavier. You're
Right,
right.
you can feel the weight, right?
Right. You drop it down.
Right, and even when my shoulder was tight on that one, so if I drop the weight, that's just the weight. So now you're starting to feel it. But when you put those two together, then it's pow.
Yeah, I'm good on that.
And it's intent to break through.
Your turn.
As far as the energy delivery, you guys see me using my body at all?
Right.
No, it's just things from the limb.
As a matter of fact, most of the demos that I see that are kind of like fancy demos are done on one leg. So you can still deliver that power on one leg.
So it's not like you said earlier, it's not concerned about the body.
You're not concerned about the
It does
body.
hurt, makes it still tingling, like.
And I'm not really considered like super powerful on this. To me, I'm kind of so. I don't have like the super whip, but the whip is just to.
But you were saying the whip is what.
There's 3 actions to this.
But you're saying the whip is sort of, people are using it as flash, right? The whip has no substance, but that's what looks best, and so that's what you see most people demonstrating, and that's why people get it misunderstood, because someone has that whip and they think, oh man, that's awesome, but they don't have the underlying foundation of the weight and other aspect to make it useful.
Right. I can snap my arms around all day, but like I said, it's not going to hurt anybody. Unless you know how to put the weight into that, unless you know how to hit somebody with a heavy arm, then it's not going to do anything.
Okay.
So you have to go through the training. So what's the training? Well, if your muscles are tight, which happens a lot of times with Wing Chun guys, then you're not going to be able to hit them with a dead weight arm.
Turn the shoulder off.
Yeah.
No, and even with fighters, the fighters come in, they're like, right? So
They lock that for a
they're
brief moment.
right. My shoulders are tight, right? When I hit it, right, this whole area in here is tight. Back tightens up,
Yeah,
other
like
side
that line.
tightens up. What's that?
You gotta like that line, you know?
Yeah. So all this you got to forget about, and just snap it. So
What?
So
In the
it looks,
ass!
so it looks great on video. I mean, if I sit here, I mean, it sounds great, right? You can all hear it. But what the hell is that going to do?
Yeah.
It's not going to
Piss
do
me
anything.
off.
You have to go through a long period of time to train, which you go through the different, releasing. You have to be able to just release any different direction. But there is a specific form that you train for that. So the form basically you work on is the Samchen form. So you do go through different development A lot of times with a Samchen, with the karate forms, you're going to be tight, you're not going to be able to talk because you got to do all that weird breathing. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's a different way of training. So, this is working tendons. So I don't have any problem breathing when I'm doing this. This is all through the tendons, it's not a muscular thing. If you don't do that training, you can't do it.
Right. You don't learn how to turn it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's basically it. You guys got any more questions at all?
You can talk about this for days, but I think this is probably good enough to get everybody's minds.
It wets the whistle.
All right.
Yeah, so maybe, I don't know if that'll clarify, but hopefully that'll clarify some things for people. I see a lot of questions on this subject on the forum, so we'll see the comments. All right, thanks.